All right, ladies and gents, I wanted to start out before this video. I wanted to say I lost a significant amount of video because I overloaded my phone and I used too much storage space. So I was recording, not realizing that it wasn't sticking. So before we start this video, I lost the unpackaging of the SunStac plasma cutter. Not a big deal. We still got some really good pictures. And the meat and potatoes is still there. I'm not going to bore you with the other videos, which I was trying to use basically the cheapest machine torch head on Amazon, which was about $39. Not realizing and reading the details that the torch head itself was for a high frequency start plasma cutter. So there is a machine torch on Amazon. It's the cheapest one that's on there. Don't buy it. It's not going to work with this machine. There is a IMPT torch. Here it is right here. It's the PTM 60T plasma cutting torch head kit. Is right here. You guys can see that. So this is the torch head kit that will work with the SunStac. The machine works really well. I've been doing some cutting with it. I'm not going to show you the machine just yet. This is just the unboxing and the using the plasma cutter for a couple cuts, kind of manually on the machine, moving the gantry back and forth. Wanted to test it out before I got into really mounting it to the machine and putting the wire in the drag chain and whatnot. So before we start this video, I just wanted to get that out there. I don't want to bore you with the motions I had to go through before figuring out that original $39 torch head didn't work. So it was a lot of back and forth. I thought I had broken connections, so on and so forth. I don't need to bore you with that. That was my own mistake for not digging deeper into the details of how that torch needed to operate. So what I did was I just matched consumables from the torch handle kit that came with the SunStac with the machine torch type head that I purchased, and those jived up perfectly. The consumables are really reasonable. We got some of these here. I believe the torch head comes with a 1.1 head, and these are same thing, 1.1s. I tried to go to Harbor Freight and buy some consumable pieces from those guys, and unfortunately they were a little bit smaller, 0.09. So you can use these if you want to run thinner metal. You can get the parts at Harbor Freight, and they will work. I tried them. But I believe they're good between the 30 and 40 amp range. We are running 50 right now, cutting 1/8 inch steel. Really nice, really smooth. I will give you a sneak peek as to what those cuts look like. So this, something that we recently cut. You can see, very sharp, really nice. Came out really good. Little thinner metal. There you go. Not going to show you where we're at in the build just yet. It looks fantastic. So before we start this SunStac cutting, plasma cutting video, and kind of just setting up, real simple stuff. It's pretty basic. Yeah, it works good for the money. You know, you're looking at $230, 20 some dollars for the SunStac itself, and $89 was the cheapest I found on Amazon for the machine head torch, which I thought was still good for the setup. I don't think you're going to find anything cheaper. It is a non-high frequency, non-touch setup, so it's working well. As long as you keep your torch distance away from the surface, you got to make sure that's correct. If you're too close, it'll shut off. Very finicky in that sense, but I think any torch is going to be very sensitive in that manner. You want to get that torch height correct. I did notice when the torch height is not set properly, it seems to mess with the programming as well, and I'm not sure if that is a product of some grounding going on because you're too close to the material, so that could be the issue. But stay tuned. I'll show the rest of the video, the unboxing, the setting up of the SunStac. What you're going to see in the video is the original machine tip or machine torch. Don't worry about that. That's not going to work. And you'll see me put the handheld back on just to test the machine because I was kind of iffy on what was going on. So stay tuned. All right, we're back here with our SunStac SS50C plasma cutter, non-high frequency, pilot arc, non-touch plasma cutter, which we're going to use for our JD's Garage setup. And right now we're just setting up the air regulator, and what we want to do today is fire this up and get a piece of steel and see how it cuts and performs before we completely incorporate it into our table. We want to make sure it's going to work. Well, first order of business, make sure we don't have a defective machine, which wouldn't be good. So we have our little bracket here. We got some notches here where the bracket sits inside of. This little red nut comes off. Looks like the same exact setup. There you go, that goes right on there. And you can clock this however way you need, like so. All right, and then your red nut goes on there, locks that in. But what we're going to do first is mount the bracket. Which this is kind of wonky here. Washers are a little bit small, but we'll make it work. This has a little bit of adjustment in it. There you go. And we have our air dryer or filter. And we also have small port here for the gauge. You have an arrow here for direction. coming in, going out. Same on the other side, coming in, going out. So they give us a little hose that goes from here to the machine, and first order of business is we got to put the supplied fitting in the one side here. They come with Teflon on them already, which is nice. There you go, that's your one side. We have a gauge for this side here. Grab that. There you go. There's our gauge. This does not have Teflon on it. We're going to put some on. Grab a little roll here. Whatever way you're spinning, if you're tightening on this way, you want the Teflon to tighten the opposite way. There you go. All right. Spin that right in. Now we're going to need a open-end box wrench for this. We're not going to be able to fit channel locks or an adjustable wrench in there. It's just too narrow. Again, not a killer. You can put this in place like so. We'll get our red nut. Screw that on. And there you have it. And this is adjustable here. You can pop it up, make your adjustment, lock it back down. Pull it up, make your adjustment, more, less, push it back down. Works nice. All right, there's a small tube here and a much longer tube for your air if you want to use this, but I'll show you what I do for the other plasma cutter. This is just going to go right in. If you need to take it out, push this little black ring in. That'll allow you to take the tube out, but make sure it's all the way in there. All right, and it grabs. There you have it. All right, get this. Make sure that's in. It's in there. Good, good. And they have this fitting here if you wanted to put it here and run another hose, which they supply you, just here. But then you just have to transition it back to an air compressor fitting, which is you really don't need to do. I wonder if this wrench actually fits. Yep, doesn't. It's a little, it's for the other torch head. All right, so that's where we're at here. We're not going to use this fitting, okay? We're going to get an air compressor adapter and put it right in here so we can put our hose right onto it. I got plenty here. Somewhere. There's a bunch. We got JP's garage playing in the background. Look at this too. Your air compressor fittings. There's a variety of fittings you have here. You have this one that has little knurls on it. You have this one that has a little wider lip on the top. This is just wide in general. This is a high flow. And then this is pretty much your standard. But before we hook this in, we are going to check it with the end that we have hooked to our air compressor. I'll show you guys my air compressor setup. It's a mess in here right now, but here's the air compressor setup. It's a big boy, big tank. So we have first off, coming off the tank here, so we have our main. It's our main valve. Let me shut this off so it doesn't turn on. And then we have like an auxiliary port here, in case I want to hook up something random. We got another valve here to isolate. This line here goes outside to the rear of the garage. Anytime I need to use it, boom, turn it on. There's an outlet right on the back side of that wall. And I hook up to it. There's a hose out there, and that's all ready to go. This way I don't have to drag all this out. Up the top here is another valve with an air separator. There you go. You can turn that on. This works pretty good. That goes up to our hose reel. Little Harbor Freight job. 50-foot hose reel. It works nice. It's a Merlin. And then we take that down to a little phone cord style air compressor hose. This is what's going to hook up to our plasma cutter. So this is nice. We got our blow guns. We blow the car off. All right. We got a longer blow gun here. All right. We got our digital air hose right there, which works good. There you are. So this is the fitting that we had come off the other air chuck. Just want to make sure that that fits in there. We're good. And now we can put this on the machine. And we'll leave this off for now, because we'll be hooking up shortly. We are going to clean this up with a little wire brush action. I should have here. All right, put you guys back here. So where we're going to be hooking up is going to be coming off that hose reel from the top, and that already has a water separator slash filter on it. And in addition to that, we're going to be running through here. This is a similar filter, it's a separator. It's not going to take all of the moisture out, but it will help tremendously. So our tank, our air compressor tank, is due to be flushed out. It's probably disgusting on the bottom of it, and it's probably full of water too. So drag the hose over, see if we're leaking or we're airtight. There we go. We're in the business. That's more pressure, and that's less. I don't see any movement. Yeah, there we go. We got to really crank on this thing to get it moving. There you have it. So we'll go about 40. I think that's close enough, or good enough for now. Let's see, let's turn it on, see what our torch does, huh? Get silly with it. Here's our cord, we'll transition it. Again, this came with the 220 to 110 cord, which is nice. Run that there. Let's plug her in. Plug it in there. Let's turn it on. Hey, oh, this is nice. This is a nice unit. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo. I like it. Look at that, we got gas test, cut, post gas, T2, T4. Oh, nice. All right, looks like we got 20. And I guess it recognizes that we're on 110. And I guess it only goes up to 40 amps, which is fine. And we have our torch here. See if we can get some air coming through this puppy. Yep. Nice. Let's see where our air's at now. Pretty high. We're gonna back it off with scotch. That's really sharp. I like it. Oh, you can gas test from here. Look at that. And then you can go to cut, post gas. You can set your post gas, probably 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever you want. All right, let's check it out. We'll go to 5. We'll go to cut with the switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. Sweet. This is nice. I like it. All right, we're gonna get some. We'll get a piece of steel in here. We're gonna lay it across right here. I don't care what I put here. I'll put some wood or metal. I got a couple pieces of steel there. And I got some steel plate. We'll put that right down. And we'll set the height. Hopefully the steel isn't too ugly looking. Yeah, we'll set the height. We'll ground it. And we'll run a pass right on the gantry. Should give us a straight cut. But let me go grab the steel. I'll be right back. So we're back, and just to make sure our plasma cutter was actually working, I hooked up the torch that came with it, with the machine. that's what we have on there now. I did a quick test cut. Now I just put it on the gantry there. And it's not going to start with just one side, or a positive or just a negative. That's the only thing I see here. But this cutter seems to be, this is really nice. You know, this will work too. This will work just fine. But I wanted a machine head style torch. You know, but let's give this a crack, and we'll see what she does. Let's just give it a quick pass like that. I'll start it up. Got a little close there. Ooh. Ooh. That is pretty. Look at that cut. I'm happy with that. Ooh. Let's do another one. We're hitting the steel there. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to clamp that side down right there. The SunStac. Yeah, baby. Really nice. Very nice. Let's try to clamp this down. I'll give another cut here. Take the bow out of it, maybe. Not really. Not really. Oh, that ain't gonna work either. I'm gonna flip that around. Let's see. Let's go over a little bit. Yeah, there's a nice hump in here. Let's try to go over. There's a hell of a hump in there. Ugh. If there's no hump in there, the metal is very... Let's try another one. Again. Go a little bit. Let's go again. We're going a little too fast here. We're a little too far, a little too fast. A lot going on. The metal's very warped. So let's try it again. We'll go a little slower this time. Oh, a little zigzag cut. Try to drag it. Ready? That's the ticket. They're not bad. They're not bad. Ooh. Tube steel's falling over here. So, not terrible. Let's drag that again. Let's bring it here. Drag it right through. There we go. see what that looks like. See, I didn't want the handle type torch because of this. You know, you got sag going on here. I'm not with the sag. So I want to get that torch working, get it upright, get another bracket on there so it's nice and sturdy. This isn't going to work unless we do something else. You know, hang it up, whatever. But let's take a peek at this. That's a pretty good cut, considering we're just winging it. Look at that. That's got nothing on the bottom. This one, a little bit more. Which one is this? Okay. So this was here, like that. You can see our real slow cut was super, we were overheating it, weren't moving fast enough. But here, these two, the speed is spot on, and there is nothing on the back of that. Look at that, 0. So this is just a matter of getting it right with the speed. The air is right, just for, you know, for this metal. Look at that. Now I'm excited. So if we get product like this, where we don't even have to clean it up, that's what we're looking for. Nice cuts like that. So just real quick, just running trial runs, you can kind of get a feel for, you know, your speed and all that stuff. But you know, at least you get a visual on it, and then you can move the machine, speed the machine up or down to kind of match it. And yeah, look at that. Excited. See if we can break that away. Yeah, look at that. Ain't got nothing on it. Right through. Dragging, it's the way to go. Well, at least with this head on there. But I got to figure out what's going on with this other torch head here. I was really hype over this, but I can't seem to figure out what exactly is going on with it. You know, this will come apart here. This handle